What is up, guys? It is AJ, and we are doing the UFC 265 weigh-in recap, predictions, and a full card betting breakdown. Lots to talk about with this card. I'm super excited for it. I'll have the fight companion tomorrow, so make sure you guys tune into that. I think we're in store for a pretty solid card. It doesn't have like the superstar name value like a McGregor card, but we still have some fantastic fights. You have main event Gane versus Lewis, co-main. You got Munoz versus Aldo. You got Luque, Chiesa on that pay-per-view card, starting off with Yadong and Kenney. So there's definitely things to like about the matches here and the card as a whole. So looking forward to it. Excited to break it down here. Make sure you guys smash the hell out of that like button. Let's get at least 100 likes on this weigh-in recap video. We're going to start it off all the way at the bottom for the first fight of the night. It is Johnny Munoz Jr. versus Jamie Simmons. Now, this fight, bantamweight battle. Simmons dropping from 145. He looked okay on the scales. We'll look at him rehydrated here. He doesn't look bad, and he actually doesn't look extremely lean either. I mean, looks to have a bit of... you know what? He looks pretty lean. It was, as I zoomed in, I could see he's pretty lean. He's just not extremely dense abs just popping out of his stomach, but definitely looks solid for his first time at this weight class. Munoz Jr. there looking fantastic. It's really a wrestling-heavy style versus a fellow wrestling-heavy style. I think Munoz is the more versatile grappler, and I do think he is going to win this bout against Jamie Simmons. Method-wise, I'll pick Munoz by a decision. Could potentially lock up a submission as well on the ground, but I like Munoz here. A little bit taller, 3-inch height advantage. You can see as they faced off. The odds, minus 300, minus 255 at best value. Simmons sitting at plus 270 at best value. I like Johnny Munoz here. If you're going to be betting this fight, I do think he gets it done, and I do think it should be by a unanimous decision. Let's see what props, if any, I'm liking here. Over 1.5, minus 130. I like the over 1.5 on Munoz Simmons at minus 130. If you're on any site that you're seeing it, minus 130, I think that's worth a play. That's over at Jazz. Other sites is more upwards of the minus 175 range and up. Don't really love all the other bets here. Potentially Munoz by a decision. That's plus 230. Not bad value either, especially as big of a favorite as he is. I like Johnny Munoz. I think he wins this fight, and I think decision victory over Jamie Simmons to start the night off. Women's bout at 125 is our second one, Leonardo versus Melissa Gatto. So this fight here is kind of unproven prospect on one side versus fairly solid, well-rounded Victoria Leonardo. I think that there's a chance that Leonardo could give Gatto hell in this fight, but Gatto's submissions off her back are something to be wary of. That's kind of her game completely, is jiu-jitsu. I would say that's her strongest suit at the very least. I feel, though, Leonardo is more well-rounded. If it gets to the ground, I think Gatto taps her out here. I think it's intelligent matchmaking for the UFC. I think they really want to see if Gatto has it or not. Not going to be something that I'm throwing money down on, but I do think she should get a submission over Leonardo. You can look at them both facing off here. Slight height advantage for Gatto. It's not an easy fight against Leonardo. Personal skip the bet, especially because it's women's MMA action. But if you are looking to bet it, I will guide you in the best of directions here. About pick'ems, which makes sense. Leonardo minus 104, so she's slight favorite, but you can also find Gatto at minus 102. It depends where you go. The odds are pretty close. I don't really love any plays on this one. I like the submission for Gatto, but what is the value sitting at? Plus 200? I don't think I'm playing any risk on that one. Not going to bet this one. Maybe Gatto by a submission, maybe Leonardo by a TKO. I could see the fight going late. Actually, you know what? Let's see what the over 1.5 is. Over 1.5, minus 180 is not terrible. Minus 210 is okay. I think the over 1.5 is pretty realistic here. I'd say that's probably the most likely prop bet that you'll be getting on this fight. And that's really the only one I'd consider playing. I don't want to play the winner on this one, even though I am on the side of Gato winning this fight. Let's get to the third fight of the night. It is Miles Johns versus Anderson dos Santos. Okay, so hot prospect Johns versus, true veteran of the game in dos Santos. Not an easy fight by any means for Anderson dos Santos against Miles Johns, but there's definitely a chance he could lock up a sub. Also has some nasty hooks. He's an explosive and high-volume striker, whereas Miles Johns on the other side has a pretty touch-of-death right hand, athletic specimen, good fighter on the rise, 11-1 record. Things to like on both sides. He's too big of a favorite, though, to really get me considering a bet. I have been torn on this fight. If you saw me on Lock of the Night show, I talked about it with him. He sees a path to victory for Anderson dos Santos. I can see it as well, but I'm thinking Miles Johns gets a win by decision. That's a toss-up. Betting-wise, you're better off dog or passing it. I'll pick Miles Johns to win via decision, but I think that dos Santos is a live underdog. You can look at them facing off here. Johns looks fantastic, but Anderson also looks in great shape. He's also slightly taller, and that height advantage does concern me a bit from range striking because Johns will have a harder time getting inside of the distance here. But Johns is like sitting around a minus 190 favorite to like a plus 180-ish, plus 170 dog. Is the value worth it for this one? Well, I feel as though if you are going to play it, over 1.5, minus 350 is ugly. Under 1.5, under 2.5, plus 145, plus 170. Not a terrible underplay, even though I think it's going the distance. I'm not loving this fight as far as betting goes, and I'm skipping it personally. But dos Santos to win by a KO, plus 1,000. Dos Santos to win by a submission, plus 800. Let's see. Dos Santos inside the distance is plus 490. He's a big underdog here. I'm going to skip the bet personally, but I would understand more value betting-wise going the side of Anderson dos Santos, but I'll pick Johns to win via decision here. Next fight of the night, Manal Cape versus Oday Osbourne. Cape misses weight. Not a good look. Manal, why are you missing weight, my brother? Come on. I wish he would have made the weight because I think he is a good prospect. I like things about Manal Cape, but this weight miss is concerning. Even though he didn't look bad on the scales by any means, it's a weight miss that is going to potentially get him in trouble if he does not win this fight. See the face-off there? I think Cape should have a pretty clear-cut path to victory over Oday Osbourne. I think he pressures him striking, out-grapples him potentially. And I think the Southpaw versus Southpaw fight actually favors Manal Cape here. I feel that Manal Cape will win a decision, but I'll be honest, seeing him miss weight is not a good look. I'm assuming he's training hard and there was just some type of issue, but it does concern me. I'll pick Cape odds-wise. Manal Cape sitting around minus 193, minus 200, minus 190 at best value. Oday Osbourne at best value, plus 180. If we are to throw some dinero down, how we gonna throw it? Let's see. All right. Over 1.5, minus 240. Over 2.5, minus 120. Oday Osbourne's not an easy guy to finish, but he has been caught up in a submission. That was by Kelleher. Cape to win by a decision, plus 190, plus 200. Cape by a decision is my pick personally here, but the weight miss concerns me. Over 2.5 at minus 120 is not a bad play. Fight goes the distance at plus 100. Interesting. The bookies are expecting fight ends inside of the distance, actually. Under 2.5, minus 110. I like the straight cap play or potentially parlaying him up. But seeing him miss weight, I'm just concerned. I don't know the exact path to victory that we might see, though I am thinking unanimous decision. And if you guys have not yet Smash that like button. We need at least 100 likes on this weigh-in recap. I appreciate everybody tuning in, whether live or on replay. I love you guys. Make sure to tune into that Fight Companion tomorrow because I will be going over the whole card live with the alternate commentary. We'll have the pay-per-view card. If you aren't buying the pay-per-view, at least you can listen to my play-by-play. If you are buying it, maybe you're sick of the typical commentators and want to just come listen to me. So there's definitely a lot of value to tuning into the show. We'll do some live betting as well. It should be a lot of fun. But let's talk about this next fight. It is Karolina Kowalkiewicz versus Jessica Penne. Okay, so both girls are career-wise going down. Like, I hate to say it, but I have to be completely honest. This is not a fight between girls emerging at all. This is the downfall of both of them, essentially and unfortunately. Jessica Penne on one side, grappler. Karolina Kowalkiewicz, striker, but her striking has looked stiff. She gets caught by a lot of punches. She's 35, almost 36. Penne, 38, almost 37. Or excuse me, almost 39, not 37. It's not going backwards. We're going forward. It concerns me for both. If you're going to bet this one, I'm going dog. I'm going dog or pass play. We'll quickly check them out. Penne looked pretty attractive on the scale. Pretty good. Not attractive. You know what I'm saying. She looked good on the scale. She looked good. Karolina didn't look bad either. I like Jessica here, to be honest, guys. I'm feeling something with Jessica Penne. She's sitting at plus money. You can find her at plus 122 at best value. Karolina Kowalkiewicz minus 126. I'll go grapple heavy Jessica Penne victory by a decision. Fight over 1.5. Oh yeah, it's not even worth it. Oh man, they have all the distance plays already set. They're expecting this fight goes the distance. Penne to win by a decision is the one we're looking at, plus 200. Straight betting, she's at plus 115. I don't think she'll finish, so I do think, yeah, Penne win by a decision, plus 200. If you like Kowalkiewicz on the other side, her to win by decisions, plus 120. I think that we're going to see a victory for Jessica Penne, but it's not a fight I'll be throwing substantial amounts of money at, and it's more of a risk to bet it. It's women's MMA, and it's women's strawweight division, and it's girls who either inactive on one side of Penne and losing streak on the other side of Kowalkiewicz. We'll pick Penne, but be smart about that one. Ed Herman versus Alonzo, Manfield light heavyweight division. Quickly pull up the weigh-ins. You see Ed Herman looking decent enough. Manfield looking like a tank. Slight size advantage for Ed Herman here, though. Physical strength definitely in favor of Alonzo Manfield. Explosive puncher. Decent work inside of the clinch. I don't think he's going to be tested too much in the wrestling department with Herman. I don't think he's going to be tested too much striking with Herman because Herman is not necessarily the touch of death fight-ending style of striker. I feel as though it is going to be a win for Alonzo Manfield by a KO, and if it isn't, this is a downfall for his career. He's fighting a 3-fight win streak, Ed Herman, though. Even though the last fight he should have lost against Rodriguez. Manfield KO. I'm thinking early second round, but also could see the first as well, but I'll pick second round. Betting-wise, the KO prop bet was at the minus money last I checked because Manfield at best value is minus 230. Herman at best value plus 210. So obviously the odds are fairly favorable towards Manfield. I mean, he's expected to win this fight. And do you really blame the bookies here? No, I don't. I see why. There's clear paths to victory for him. Manfield to win the fight by KO, TKO is still minus money. Not necessarily bad because I do think he should get the finish. Minus 125 is not bad. But let's see something. Manfield, just round betting. Manfield wins in round number 2. Plus 500. This is what I like. Round 2, potential round bet. Scary, but possible for a big return. Plus 450. That's pretty good value. I like that plus 450. If you're looking at plus 400 or more on Manfield wins in round 2, I'm kind of liking it as I'm feeling like he gets it done in the second round by KO over Ed Herman. I don't think Ed Herman gets knocked out early. I think that he fights through a rough first round and then gets stopped later on. So that's the pick on that one and the potential bet. Manfield for the win, though. And we'll definitely parlay him up at the end because you know we do parlays at the end. We're going to go deep with some parlays. So I'm pretty excited for that. All right, Draco Rodriguez versus Vince Morales. This fight here is okay. This is going to be an interesting matchup here between these two fighters. Draco's chin is concerning, but is a pretty well-rounded prospect. I do think he could take Morales down here, but I don't think he grinds him for 3 rounds. We'll quickly look at them at weigh-ins. Draco looks in good shape, as does Morales. Both guys in fantastic shape. But I think Vince Morales is a superior kickboxer to Draco. MMA math doesn't work, but just notable. Quick knockout loss to Amian Zahabi. That's the only win of Morales' career, or excuse me, of his UFC career, is a win over Amian Zahabi. I feel as though Vince Morales is going to win this fight against Draco Rodriguez, and he should potentially do it. I'm thinking maybe stoppage. I don't know. Maybe Draco's chin is a question mark. I don't know. He looks good on the scales. We'll see when we go out there, but I have Vince Morales winning this fight. He was a bigger dog earlier in the week, but now it's come to near even money. Morales sitting at minus 102 to plus 102 best value. Draco Rodriguez minus 110 at best value. Let's see. Is there any bet here? Over 1.5, minus 285. Man, they're getting you in trouble here. Under 2.5. Plus 115. It could go to 3, though. I like the over. I'm liking over 1.5, though, but the value at minus 260. I don't know, unless you're really parlaying it up nicely. Wherever you're playing is allowing that. If not, kind of against it. Morales to win inside of the distance is plus 300. Morales inside the distance. Morales specifically by KO, TKO. You can find it all the way up at plus 400. Decent play there. I like Vince Morales to win. He's an underdog pick, though the lines have now come in a fair amount closer for this one. All right, let's keep on moving up to the top. It is the featured prelim of the night, and they are giving us a fantastic one to send us off to pay-per-view, because I really feel like this fight is between an OG in Bobby Green and, maybe a legit up-and-comer in this weight class in Ataman Rafael Fiziev. He looks in fantastic shape, as does Bobby Green. You can see them staring off here. Height about the same, though they're listed differently. They look about the same height, reach pretty much identical. So everything is virtually identical in this matchup. I think that Rafael Fiziev, though, is going to make a serious difference with his dynamic striking. The Muay Thai is very good. Kicks to the legs will be fantastic. Check hooks are awesome. Bobby Green's hands drop a bit. I don't think that it's a high likelihood of him getting stopped here. I think Fiziev mixes it up and controls this fight, wins a decision. Bobby Green's pretty good everywhere. He's going to be in Fiziev's face, and he's going to really test him. This is a stern test for Fiziev, and if he wins this fight, this is a good test to pass, because arguably Bobby Green should have beat Thiago Moises in the last one. So Rafael Fiziev getting a win here, it's big for his career. If he gets a knockout, this guy might have some actual real title potential, because that's not easy to do, and only Dustin Poirier has slept Bobby Green, and you look how great he's doing. Fiziev minus 280, Bobby Green plus 260. Let's see. Fiziev to win by a decision, sitting at plus 130, plus 140. It's expected for him to win by decision, but you're still getting plus money, and I like plus money. Fiziev, decision win. That is my bet on this one, and I do think he will do such a thing here. Over 2.5, minus 180. I think it's unlikely that he sleeps Bobby Green. If he does, though, this is a real blue chip prospect, and Fiziev, somebody we have to watch extremely closely. But let's move on up to the main card. And if you have not yet, smash the hell out of that like button. I need at least 100 likes on this video. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe here too. We're covering all things MMA. Next week, we're covering Bellator and PFL. Tomorrow, the UFC 265 full card fight companion. Post-fight coverage will be out as well. So keep it locked in here at MMA Experts. I appreciate you all for tuning in, whether live or on replay. Let's talk about it, though. It is 135, the opener for our pay-per-view card. It is Song Yadong versus Kenney. predictions on this one for people I've talked to are back forth. They're all over the place. I think a lot of people like Kenney for his grappling game, and he does have pretty competent striking at this point. Song Yadong, bits more power style, sits down on his shots. Only 23, and he has not fought in 4 months. How much improvements can be made in that time? Well, at 23, substantial improvements can definitely be made, but it's not an easy fight versus Casey Kenney, who is a legit prospect. Disappointing loss to Dominic Cruz, but forgivable split decision, and was able to go out there against, one of the best in the weight class. Song Yadong, you can see Kenny's hitting him with a little right hook action there. I feel as though the traditional wrestling style that you saw Cody Stamann work well against Song Yadong with is not what we're going to see from Casey Kenney. He has a judo background, a high-level judo background at that. Also, Southpaw versus Orthodox matchup. That's going to be interesting. I think Song Yadong edges him out on a competitive decision here. I think Kenney will have moments, but I think the physical strength and athleticism of Song Yadong prevents him from from getting controlled substantially on the ground by Casey Kenney. So I'll go with my boy Yadong to win here by a decision. Odds-wise, plus 100, plus 110 value for Song Yadong. Casey Kenney, minus 117. I want to see what I can find that stands out. Like, hey, let's bet it. Fight goes the distance, minus 185. I like that one the best here to save yourself on both ends, because I do think we're looking at 3 rounds of work from both of these men here. Not easy guys to finish. Yadong to win by a decision, plus 240 at best value. Kenney, plus 170 for him by a decision. I like fight goes the distance, and I like Song Yadong to win by a unanimous decision over Casey Kenney in a very difficult matchup. Next fight, women's division rematch, 115. Little bit of bickering back and forth at the press conference, which is something that I genuinely enjoyed seeing. I was glad to see them get at each other just a little bit. I like the smack talk a little. It's sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes I think it's good. And this matchup here, not Alliance MMA, we need to get out of there, is between Alliance MMA's Angela Hill and American Top Team's Tasha Torres. Stylistic matchup. Well, first thing, Tasha owns a win over. Very physically strong. I think Tasha is going to impose her will in the clinch in this matchup. I think she's going to rush inside with her flurries that she normally does. Very bouncy style Tasha has, and she's quick. And also, you see her physique. Angela Hill accused her of doping. She's jacked. I just think she has fantastic genetics. On the other side, Angela Hill's very good from the mid-range with her kickboxing, but I see her getting taken down and controlled against the cage here. I think Tasha is a very difficult stylistic matchup. Angela Hill has improved for sure, and there's a path to victory for her if she can control range. I don't think she'll be able to. I'll go Tasha Torres to win by a decision. You can check off the face-off. Man, both of these girls are in fantastic shape, though. Little stare-down action here. I'm going Tasha Torres. She got the inside hand over Angela Hill, so I will ride with her for the victory. Not just because of that, but that's something to note. Tasha Torres, minus 135. Angela Hill, plus 128. The fight's going the distance here. That's near guarantee, I would say. Let's see what the odds are when it loads up. Okay, so for fight goes the distance, minus 300. Not loving it. Let's do Tasha Torres wins by a decision, plus 120. Not bad value. Angela Hill on the other side to win by a decision. Best value is plus 200. That's pretty nice. Even though I'm on the side of Tasha, that Angela Hill line, it pulls you in a bit because she's the underdog, plus 200. That's nice money. But I think Tasha Torres should win this fight by a decision and be victorious over Angela Hill in this matchup and start getting a 3-fight win streak going for herself, and also going 2-0 against Angela Hill. Next fight is our featured bout of the night on this main card. It is Vicente Luque versus Michael Maverick Chiesa. It is grappler versus striker, though Vicente is competent black belt in jiu-jitsu, trains alongside Gilbert Burns. What he doesn't have, not that he doesn't have, he's fought wrestlers before. He, beat Tyron Woodley, who was a very good wrestler in the last one, but that was a shot Woodley. Michael Chiesa is a dangerous man inside of the clinch. Constant grappling attack. You're going to see it from him here. He is going to look to gain top control on Vicente Luque here. He does not want to mix it up striking. Striking-wise, it is Luque. It's dominating grappler versus dynamic kickboxer. I think that the grappler will find a way to get this fight to the floor, though I love the style of Luque, and as a fan, maybe I would prefer to see a win for Vicente Luque, but I think Chiesa is going to beat him. There's no image from the face-off there, unfortunately, but both of them look solid on the scales. Chiesa definitely still cutting a fair amount of weight, even up a weight class. I think that the physical strength in the clinch and just the years of grappling experience, he's on a 4-fight winning streak, dominating guys with his grappling. I think he will win using his grappling here. I don't think Luque has the offensive attack off of his back. I'll pick Chiesa for a decision victory. Minus 109 plus 102 for Chiesa to minus 110 for Luque. Odds are very near pick'ems for this matchup at this point. And over 1.5, over 2.5 is minus 140. I think the fight goes the distance. Fight goes the distance minus 115. If it goes the distance, I think it leans Chiesa winning a decision. For Chiesa to win by a decision, that's up at plus 225. We're going for Michael Chiesa wins by a decision. That is the pick, and that is the potential play. I also like that fight goes the distance play outright. I think Luque could win by a stoppage, but it's not going to be easy to put away Michael Chiesa at 170. Co-main event time, though. It's Aldo versus Pedro, the young Punisher Munoz. Okay, so this is a fun fight. Pedro is a dominating leg kicker. I mean, his style, he destroys your legs. On the other side, Jose Aldo is a dynamic Muay Thai specialist. The man has been at the top of combat for years and years. Disappointing losing streak that he recently snapped. The win over Marlon Vera. That was a hard matchup because Vera is a lankier bantamweight. You look at this fight, reach advantage and slight height advantage for Jose Aldo. He's 5 inches in the reach. That's a big amount there. You can see them facing off. And also you can see, there's the Luque face-off. Okay, they have it in the wrong order there, just so you guys saw it. But both guys looked in fantastic shape. Aldo looked shredded out. He's looked great at bantamweight. I think that his speed advantage and his boxing skill set is going to lead him to victory over Munoz. Munoz's head gets stuck in the pocket a bit. He hasn't been knocked out. He has been in fights with good knockout artists and won. He knocked out Cody Garbrandt, but I don't think he has the pop to hurt Jose Aldo, and especially in a 3-round fight, I think Aldo will have a high output at the very least in the first 2 rounds, and I see Jose Aldo for a decision win with a more dynamic kickboxing style over Pedro Munoz. Aldo, slight favorite, minus 110. Munoz, plus 102. Near pick'em's odds for another one of these fights. And I think we're going the distance in this one as well. I'm thinking like there's going to be some decisions here. All right, so the fight goes the distance is minus 155. Aldo to win by decision, plus 180, plus 160. I like Jose Aldo to win by a decision. I think he beats Pedro Munoz here by a decision. He's a slight favorite and a straight money line bet. But I also think that there's value in betting Aldo by a decision. I think he's going to have a high striking output, and I think he beats Pedro Munoz and pushes himself close once again to that title contention. All right, next fight. Derrick the Black Beast Lewis versus Cyril Gane. Main event of the evening. Smash that like button if you haven't yet. We need at least 100 likes on this video. Appreciate everybody for tuning into the show. I'm really excited to see this fight. The touch of death, Derrick Lewis versus the technical specimen, Cyril Gane. Nobody controls range like he does at heavyweight. Nobody's as light on their feet at heavyweight as Cyril Gane. He's a special fighter. Derrick Lewis, though, doesn't need to be winning fights to win. He loses fights throughout, and then he knocks you out. One touch, and it's game over. So Cyril Gane needs to mind his P's and Q's extremely well here because it's not going to be easy. Let's get the image up if we can load it here. Here we go. You got Gane on the scale looking good. Lewis looking good as well. And then the nice, intense face-off. If you guys haven't seen it yet, I do recommend that you check it out. It was intense. There is going to be action, I believe, here. And I'm going Cyril Gane to win. Knockout. 4th round. He's going to beat a tired Derrick Lewis by stoppage. Gane minus 270. Lewis plus 305. There is submission potential. I think we have to respect Cyril Gane's grappling game, especially if he has a fatigued Derrick Lewis in that 4th round. Over 3.5 plus 115. Over 2.5 minus 150. That's interesting value. Under 4.5 minus 220, minus 175 at best value. Fight ends inside the distance, minus 200. Let's see. Gane wins inside the distance is plus 100. Lewis wins by KO TKO plus 419. Potential bet on Lewis KO TKO just because you have to probably prop that up just in case there's a couple bucks at it. Gane to win by a KO TKO plus 135, plus 150. Gane by a submission plus 700. Can you imagine he submits Derrick Lewis? That plus 700 tag's looking pretty money there. I think it's going to be victory for Cyril Gane, and I think he's going to pick apart Derrick en route to a late stoppage. And I think that he earns himself that interim title, and we really are looking at a guy that could give Francis Ngannou a run for his money. I think it's a hard stylistic fight. I really believe that. Now, I'm not going to send you guys out of here without parlays because you know how we do it. We parlay it up at the end of the show, and we have to talk some parlays. If I had $1,000 after seeing the weigh-ins, who am I throwing money at? I am putting Ataman on my parlay. I have to. I feel it in my heart. Manfield on my parlay. I have to. I feel it in my heart. Munoz on my parlay. I have to. I feel it in my heart. And now, do I want to be a crazy man and put Gane, Aldo? This isn't the $1,000 parlay. This is like the $5 parlay. If it was the $1,000 one, I'll go Fiziev Manfield as the 2. If you want to add Munoz or Gane, you can also do that. I like Aldo over Munoz. I think Tasha over Hill is a reasonable choice, even though it is women's MMA, and I do not advise this. This is long shot. Hail Mary play. Plus 968 for this one here. The value would be pretty fantastic coming at you if this one does cash, and I do think there's a high likelihood that it does. I like the matchups here a lot. Cape, I also think should win, but the weight cut concerns me, which is why I'm not throwing it at him. Draco and Vince, just too competitive of a matchup. Kenney, Yadong, same type of thing. Luque, Chiesa, same type of thing. Potential inside the distance parlays as well. If you wanted to do like, you take out the Tasha Torres play and maybe you wanted to play if your bookie lets you, not every site does, plus 734 if you did that, because I do think that fight's going the distance. Lots of opportunities, lots of potential bets. I am super pumped for this UFC card this weekend. We're going to have a full card fight companion. You guys better tune into that. And if you have not yet, smash the hell out of that like button. I need 100 likes on this weigh-in recap. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. Appreciate everybody for tuning into the show, and I will chat it up a little bit in the live chat. Any questions, send them out. And tomorrow, make sure you tune into that fight companion, guys. I actually cannot wait for it. It's becoming one of my favorite things to do, are these fight companions. Abe was robbed in his last fight, you think? Just checking up on some of the chat that I missed out on. You think Gane beats Francis? Yeah, I think Gane definitely has a potential to pull it off. Derrick Lewis versus Gane could be a draw. I don't think so. I think he has a striking is not good enough. Pedro Catena, he'll take over 75%. I think that should be physically stronger than Angela Hill. There's things to like about this card, guys. I am absolutely stoked for it. Overall, we've had a fun week breaking down the fights, and I am super pumped to actually get to enjoy and hang out and just watch the fights. No breaking them down, nothing crazy. I mean, obviously we'll give a little bit of live tips and whatnot, but fully dialed in to the actual fights. I think we're in store for something special. I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. You guys know I love going live with you guys. Smash the hell out of that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you all for tuning into the show, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the full card fight companion. Have a great night, everybody.